welcome back to Melanated Dream. I'm doing like a little video series tonight. So I want to talk about my dating experience in Kenya. And boy, oh boy, let's take a minute to talk about that disaster. For some people, they get lucky. They go, they find the man of their dreams, and it just all works out. But for me, that just wasn't the case. But I did have some fun dating, and I dated, I think, a pretty good, amount to say that it was okay, but nothing stuck. And I was really disappointed when I didn't find my Kenyan king. I'm just being honest with you. I really was hoping to find the love of my life there, and it just didn't work out. So who knows? Maybe he's just here in America and somewhere. I don't know. But yeah. So first, I want to talk about the first date that I had in Kenya. So a lady that lived in my building, around the same age as me, she's a Kenyan who lived in the US, and then she came back to Kenya, and she was just real nice and cool. So, she's like, I know some guys, some male friends that I grew up with, and blah, blah, blah. So eventually, somehow, some way, I ended up meeting these guys. Oh yeah, we went out for drinks one night. So that's how I met him the first night. And we went out for drinks, we hung out, we're eating all kind of good Kenyan food, ugali, skuma, yamachama, and just drinking. And they're drinking a lot, I'm drinking a lot. So me and this guy, and he kind of just appeared to be a little flashy to me, but I was like, he's cute, he's funny, okay, it's fine. And I just kind of, went with it. So, we exchanged numbers, we started talking. A few weeks later, he's like, yo, I'm gonna come through, swoop you up. It was apparent to me that, okay, yeah, he drinks a lot. He's just, wild young guy. So, okay, fine. So at the same time, I'm being naive. I don't know much about Kenyan guys, but I'm just trying to figure it out. So I started, talking to him more, and he came, well, we had made plans for him to come and take me out one night. So he was supposed to come at 7, but I guess in African time, that's really like 9 or 10, 3 hours later or so. In my culture in the United States, when a guy pulls some shit like that, you ain't gonna be keeping me waiting an hour, 2 hours. But apparently, like, in general, African time is a thing for all kind of people. It's just a cultural difference. So I was mad, but I couldn't be too mad once it was explained to me. But either way, it was still unjustified, and I should have not continued to talk to him after that. But he was cute, I liked him, and I was, like, whatever. So he took me out, we had a good time, and me and him started dating a little bit. I tried to go around him, but he was so mysterious, always all over the place, being crazy young. And we would go out places, stay out all night drinking, and then we go back to his place, stay there for a few hours, then we'll get back up and go back drinking again. But he did like show me some really good things, I think, and he exposed me to some places I probably never would have seen, some of the slums in Kenya, and just kind of like took me on some different experiences to really like feel Kenya in my heart, And some people are like, oh, I would never go there, those are grimy places. But for me, it was, an eye-opening experience. So I appreciate, him. I kind of always had this crush on him, though, the whole time I was in Kenya. Like, no matter how mean or how weird he acted towards me, I still kind of was like, okay, it's cool, somebody to know. Any time I'd see him out anywhere, he'd be like, hey, you want to go do something? I'm like, okay. I was just being like, okay. I mean, a little more easygoing than what I would have been in like the US, let's just say, but for him, he was cool. He became a friend, and I always had this little rendezvous back and forth with him. I was like, whatever. So I don't know what he's doing now to this day, but I know he was a wild man. He couldn't be tamed. That's all I know. So then I tried to date a few other guys here and there, just little, hey, how you doing? Maybe one date, couple of drinks. And I felt like it was hard for me because I didn't connect with them, I think, on certain levels. I don't know, because when you're used to American men, they just operate different. African men take a whole different approach to dating and how positions of man and woman, and you kind of learn your place as a woman. And I kind of have to humble myself and don't bring that American woman shit kind of to them, because a man is a man, you know, to them. And women don't act a certain way or don't do certain things, like you don't smoke, you don't cuss a lot, you know, just certain, you know, things that you shouldn't do in general. But in their culture, it's looked at kind of like, you know. And I really just didn't succeed in that. And regardless of I had more rendezvous and things like that. Lucky for me, I did come across one really nice gentleman of power, and he was always so sweet to me. And even for my birthday, he booked me a really nice hotel in Naivasha, and I got to just stay there for a few days. And they were like, are they called? No, they're not called flamingos. What's the name of that bird? Peacocks. There are peacocks walking around all over the place. And I mean, it was just nice. And anytime he saw me, he always made sure I was good, I was okay, doing fine. You know, I think I developed feelings for him and I shouldn't have. But either way, he was the nicer side of things. And if I could have just found a nice guy and, you know, combined the two, like, that would have been perfect. That would have been good to go. But I did date a few others, or at least I tried to date some guys. Like, these were straight Kenyan guys, but like some of the other guys I tried to date were Kenyan guys who have lived abroad and have come back to Kenya, and that also didn't work because they looked at me like, you're not anything special, you know. So that didn't work either. And then, you know, there were some other younger guys I tried to talk to, and how can I say this? I don't want to be used by anybody. I'm not anybody's meal ticket. I mean, you're the man in the relationship. You're supposed to do what a man's supposed to do. So just because I'm an American does not mean that I'm here to support you and take care of your whole family and go broke and give y'all all my money that I worked for. And I ain't even got none. So it's just not going to work. You know, we need to come to the table together and bring something to the table together. And I kind of sometimes felt like they were just looking at me as a meal ticket and not really into me as a person. So that's just a dead truth. I don't care who don't like it. But either way, it just never conspired. I mean, I had my crushes, I had my rendezvous, but for the most part, I was by myself, wondering, hoping, wishing, and it just kind of never conspired. So I did try to attempt to get married, but I guess that was more for, you know, legal purposes. It wasn't really romantic purposes. And I ended up wasting money doing that, and he didn't even show up to do what he was supposed to do. And I ended up leaving to, you know, come back to the United States anyway. So, you know, it just kind of didn't work out for that way either, because at some point I realized if I'm not going to find love, then I'll just like do what I have to do to, you know, whatever. But that didn't work out either. So for some reason I just didn't have the luck that I needed to meet the person that I was supposed to meet. Who knows? Maybe next time around, who knows what could happen. But definitely, you know, it might have been partial my fault for just not knowing how to date. It was my first time dating in Africa, so I had to learn what I have to learn. At least I know now, right?
Hello? Should stay away from your husband. Why would I do that? He gives me money, he gives me food, he gives me everything. Why would I do that? Is it your money? Oh, my sister. It's two different titles. He's your husband and he's my boyfriend. Two different things. Just do your part. Wash for him, cook for him, clean for him. And then I do the rest. I say, don't my fault you wanna be boring, do missionary every day. I say, my sister, I don't wanna argue with you. You're my sister, okay? You're my sister. There isn't enough men in the world. Sharing is caring, okay? There isn't enough men in the world. And the rest are turning gay, so I don't want to argue with you, okay? Kisses, big kisses, kisses, bye, bye.